You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the Meta. The Meta controls everything. The Meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode of The Meta Show.
Hello, hello, hello. This is fantastic.
Oh,
so I'm waiting for a moment, but from what I understand, in a second or two, I'm going to get to witness our new overlay and our new setup for our guests. We actually have a number of guests today with us, don't we?
Yes, so I'm going to have them introduce themselves in a moment, but who they are and everything, but I'm just going to go over their names. So we have some Vegas friends, Porkbutt, Wild, and Sadis with us. Also, as always, the Matani not going to be here.
What up?
Yeah, so Shuffle, thank you for your 13-month resubscribe. As we're just getting started, we have a lot of stuff to go over. Wow, more resubscribes. Well, this will be fun.
And Zolt. Okay, so before we get too stuck in, I'm going to talk about how we're going to be handling subs and shoutouts. Some of our viewers have noted that since we get so many subscribers, it can be disruptive in the middle of the show. We have now broken the show up into segments. So we're going to go, we've got our opening monologue, which is this. We have our top story. We have Melsic Power Hour and CCP Please. So what we're going to do is at the end of each segment, we're going to give everybody who had subscribed during that time and anybody who donated massive shout-outs before we move on to the next segment so that you don't have to wait until the end of the show. If you are interested in supporting the stream, please, we love... Oh, I have no sound, apparently. Somebody's saying no sound.
Oh, you have no sound. Shit, hold on. Wait, you should have sound. Everyone should be able to hear you, yeah.
Whenever I see anybody say that they have no sound, I just sort of instantly assume that there is actually sound.
Oh, yeah, there's sound, yeah. I was going to say.
So thank you, Porkbutt, and thank you, Rishion and Starfury, thank you, Attack Dad, and thank you, Skeptic Nerd Guy. What we're going to be doing is... as many of you know, we have Twitch Prime subs. You don't automatically resub to a channel with Twitch Prime. So if yours was already more than 30 days ago, you might be at a point where you can mash button and get us a free Twitch Prime subscription to the channel, which would be awesome.
So one thing too is we had a lot of comments, feedback during different shows that found that people really, really like to subscribe if you scream their name out when they do it. So with the Meta Show, we just get so many that we're going to do it at the end, don't we? We will scream.
We'll do it at the end of each segment.
Yeah. Not the end of the show. Yeah. But what you'll be talked about.
Let's go ahead and get to our unfortunate. This is really just tragic and shitty. There's no other way around it. Jeff Waltman, Big Country, who is one of the anchor hosts of the Open Comm show for many, many years since it began, and was one of our streamers and part of the Imperium News and the Matani.com family, passed away unexpectedly shortly after eVegas. He was on the Open Comm show just a couple of days at the start of Vegas, and is 37 years old. It's awful. Death happens to us all. All men must die. One of the things that I think is great about our community is that when it does come to any of these situations, we've always been able to come together and help people out. So we've been doing a 24-hour charity stream. Any kind of donations that are sent to this channel will, I believe, be going to the Extra Life. And we are also, are we doing Extra Life, Porkbutt, or are we just doing
straight
directly to the GoFundMe?
Yeah, we are going to be doing the GoFundMe for Jeff's family.
Okay, that's excellent.
There is just some confusion because the Extra Life, which is a great charity fundraiser for kids with cancer who are at children's hospitals around the country where you get to pick a hospital and raise money for it, it actually was coinciding with all this stuff happening this weekend, and we were planning on being involved with that, and then the Jeff thing happened, and so we decided to steer our efforts to help his kids instead. So
yeah, that is one of the things that we've seen here. So we've been doing a charity stream for Big Country for almost 24 hours now, and already the GoFundMe has received more than $8,000. You know, death in the United States is something that can be extremely expensive, especially when it happens unexpectedly. Jeff had survived by his children, and so anything that we can do to come together to make sure that we can make this awfulness slightly more bearable, better. I want to give one further shout out also to Dirk McGurk, who is the co-host of the Open Comm show. Dirk did something that was very difficult. I've had to do it myself, which is when he found out that his friend had passed, he began to write. And there's something compulsive about writing when you have to express grief. And it can be an unusual thing when you are writing an obituary, not knowing what you're writing. And then people, you end up finding the words for the people who don't have the words. And Dirk wrote a fantastic piece about Big Country, and I just want to give him props for that. It's a very, very hard thing to do, and he did it well.
Yeah, that thing.
It's a really good.
Actually, if we can get that linked in the chat channel so people can actually see it if they haven't read it.
Yeah, we also linked the GoFundMe above. It'll also be auto-linked every little bit.
Yeah, that thing was probably tears.
I think it's about every hour it's supposed to link. So you will be seeing that on every hour. That is actually close to 8,000 when I last looked at it. It might be over 8,000 by now, but it's really awesome, guys.
Yeah, I want to see us try to get 10,000 by the end of the weekend. I think we can do it.
I think we'd easily hit 10,000. I would be disappointed if we can't. We're almost there.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. One further bit on this before we move on to our top story. Again, grief is a hell of a topic, but our space pope, Charles White, Max Singularity, the sixth, first of his name, the true emperor, he is going to be running a service for fallen capsuleers at Amsterdam. So that's coming up this upcoming weekend, and next weekend, I should say. And just want to give him a shout out for that. We got to see the Space Pope at Vegas, and it was fantastic as usual. Okay, so before we move on to our top story, let's go ahead and who is going to be in charge of looking at subscribers that we deserve to give a shout out?
Yeah, I'll take care of that, don't worry. Also, I want to remind everyone, I know I started to laugh there for a second. I do apologize. It was right in a really important speech. But we've adjusted the donation thing. So all the streamers decided that my nephew screaming, throw me the money or show me the money or something like that was so cute and hilarious that we used it. So that's why you just heard that when someone donated $5. So I want to thank you for the donation. Yeah, it makes me laugh so fucking hard. Oh my god.
So here we have the shoutouts from the segment for people subscribing and things like that. So Obvious Decoy subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. We have Mythic Myth resubscribing for 24 months in a row.
Yeah,
Mythic Myth, that is awesome.
Yay, Mythic Myth.
Skeptic Nerd Guy for 21 months, resub spam, fantastic. Tac Dad, 8 months. Rishan Star Fury, 21 months. Pork Butt for 20 months, and he wants to touch your boat. We have Zoilt for 8 months. We have C Shuffle, which is hard to say, with Twitch Prime. Thank you much. 13 months in a row for that. That is awesome. And let's see who else we've got. We're going to continue the
Does it show?
subs
Because I was a sub and then I did the Prime, so I have to reset the timing.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you're a rookie again.
See, there's
And we have
Thanks,
Shirar just subscribed with Twitch Prime.
Does it show?
So
because
now we are going to go to
I was a sub and then I
our
did
top
the Prime,
story
so
after we have. I don't know whether we have.
I don't have a thing for top story. I have a thing for the Power Hour and the other one, but I don't have one for that.
So getting into this, boys and girls, here's what you can expect. We're going to do our top story, which is going to be our Vegas recap. After we have everybody talk about what an awesome time we had in Vegas and the hijinks that took place there, we're going to have the Nullsec Power Hour. The Nullsec Power Hour this week, we're going to be talking about the war in Tribute with the 15W Fortizar fight. We're going to be talking about Care for Kids surrendering all of their SOV up north. We're talking about drama between Lumpy and FCON. Goonswarm putting up a Keepstar for the Imperium in Delve, a Titan getting baited and killed by a streamer, and we're going to be talking about the Stutter Stop and Fountain campaign. Then CCP Please will happen. We're going to be talking about some of the things we were shown at Vegas, the upcoming patch that's going to be happening, the introduction of Dicks, which are an anti-bomb mechanic, new explosions, and a few other exciting things. So that is what you can expect on the show today. and we're going to go ahead and hit on our top story.
Yeah.
Vote. What do you got?
So my top story, and this is coming from me personally, and I actually talked to a few other people about this, is the keynote. The keynote, including the this iteration of Eve Ascension's, I guess you'd call it preview video or whatever the fuck they call it, teaser, trailer, whatever. I fell asleep.
We call it a trailer.
Yeah, I fell asleep during that. Like halfway through the presentation, I fell asleep. It wasn't until the end.
How?
It wasn't until the end where they like introduced new explosions. That was like, oh yeah, okay. And then they talked like one other thing they added. They talked about, and I don't even remember it. But like the keynote this year, it didn't seem to scream at me. I mean, they're doing a really good job, and maybe that's why. It's because with it is now. But I didn't scream.
I think, can I add, like, I think part of the reason is last year we had, like, that huge announcement with the super cap changes and what they're actually finally doing. So we had a roadmap keynote, right? And that kind of has been atypical for Vegas, I think, in past years. And so this year we kind of just went back to, here's some things we're working on, but it wasn't, like, roadmap stuff. And I think people were really hoping for more roadmap stuff, because fucking roadmap is like cocaine.
It's true. I don't want us to be immediately downing on it, though, because the thing is that, like, my perspective is fairly biased when it comes to Eve new announcements or something, so I'd love to see in chat while we're talking about the presentation, if people watch the keynote on stream or if they're on Vegas, I'd love to get opinions from our viewers as to what they thought about the keynote announcement and the trailer in particular. We can actually link the trailer here in chat.
Yeah, the trailer just didn't...
go ahead and link that right now.
It just didn't scream...
Here's the keynote, rather.
It didn't scream like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, the last trailer, the one right before this, was so fucking cool. Like, I could, like, see myself flying through space, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna blow peaks up, and it was so neat, awesome, but this one just didn't seem that kaboom to me. But that's just me, I guess. Maybe others enjoyed it. I enjoyed the rest of Vegas, but that's just that.
What was your favorite part of Vegas, Porkbutt?
I actually gotta say it's really cheesy, but my favorite part was seeing all of you assholes. But no, like, I think that is kind of the best part about Vegas, is going and meeting the people that you fly with, and then going through like a marathon party session for like the next 4 days or whatever, and then you kind of like are in the airport and this depression hits you and you're like, man, I had like so much fun. It really sucks to have to go back and wait 364 more days or whatever to do this again.
Con drop. Yeah, that is always a problem when you go living in Vegas, even for 5 days. It's such a amazing place, and I always feel like whenever I'm in Vegas that I've managed to live. This time I was there for 6 days, and I feel like I lived an entire month in those 6 days, and then just you come back to normal reality. And some people get like con drop, which is a thing that if you've been a big nerd like I have, and you've gone to like Dragon Con and stuff like that over the years, it's always a problem. You have so much stimulation and so much excitement, especially in a place like Vegas, and then you come back. The weird moment for me was when I came back from Vegas and I checked my mail, and I didn't really have any mail because I hadn't been gone that long, and it felt like I was coming back from this long odyssey. I want to ask Wild. Wild, what was your highlight for Vegas?
Well, it started for me. Well, meeting everybody, I'll go that gay. But for me, it was Guard. Seeing Guard, there was like that first moment. I think we actually jumped the open comm. Well, it started for me. So that's my first time. I've been trying to get on that show for like ever. For me, it was Guard. Seeing Guard, there was like the first one. I think we actually jumped. The open comm show just busted into that. So that's my first time. I've been trying to get on that show for like ever. It was just every one of us at the Heart Bar. Show business. I don't even know. I think I went to the. I think I did that one tournament where Guard was fantastic. Seeing Permit Band at the show was fantastic. But it was just every one of us at the Heart Bar. I don't even know. I think I
did. You breakdance on stage at the
Chateau? Where I did. I might have done really well. And
I did see 48 go up on stage, and he was in his costume. And he was up by the like DJ. That was amazing.
Apparently, we're hearing Wild twice over or something.
Wait, how are we hearing Wild twice? That's not possible. What?
Yeah.
Double delayed Wild.
It's like a 2-on-1 with Wild.
Oh, because the audio and the voice of Wild and Porkbutt are off, but me and you are on because of a thing I can't fix right now. It's too fucked up.
We are experts when it comes to IT. Apparently, this is something we're in the thick of it.
The more Wild you can get.
Oh, so we also have Sadis, who of course was rocking a fantastic costume at Vegas. If you did not know who Sadis was, he was starring
The more wild
in
you
the
can
Goonies
get.
speech that I gave,
that was
and as Fred Flintstone, and so he's unmistakable, just the best Fred Flintstone costume I've seen. So let's go ahead, Sadis. What was your favorite?
I thought there's really two things. That first night where we had the Vegas meetup, I think that went really well, and I think that folks really enjoyed it. I had a great time at that. But I think if anyone points at anything besides the Chateau as the apogee for Vegas, they're probably just making a few things up. It's just a fantastic time.
Yeah, it's an interesting contrast because we have increasingly, whenever the Imperium goes to Vegas, we have more and more events for pretty much just our guys. Sadis had found this fantastic Brazilian steakhouse, Fogo de Chao, and we got all of our dudes there, which is this massive crew, on Thursday night. And then Friday night, we did a Fremont Street pub crawl. Every single night at Vegas, everybody ends up hanging out at the Heart Barn. That's where like all the alliances sort of intermingle. And of course, the Chateau party on Saturday. We had an interesting experience because our guys are not done at 11 on a Saturday. So after the Chateau party, a lot of our crew ended up going to Dens of Ill Repute. Halloween in Vegas was fantastic. The fact that they did that meant that a lot of our guys ended up going to like the Hard Rock Casino had like a fetish Halloween ball party. So you had a whole bunch of internet spaceship nerds from our crew getting totally done up, including Scooter McCabe, who was recently featured in a PC Gamer article.
Is that a heart or a penis, Wild?
I don't know. I think that's like a heart and a dick at the same
It
time.
out. Maybe it was a heart butt, like instead of a dick butt.
Yes,
Heart
it's a heart. Dixon box.
Yeah, I think I fixed the audio issue a while.
My audio working now.
I
do you
think
think it-
one of the things that I really liked this year, though, was this is the first time I've taken my wife to like a goon thing or a Eve thing, really. And I was kind of really worried that she was gonna like hate it, and she ended up having at least as much fun if I did, if not more. And that was really cool. So yeah,
It was
Good times all
surprisingly
around.
like +1 friendly. I mean, my girlfriend had a fantastic time, and there were a lot of. I mean, Bromander's wife had a fantastic time. It was. I mean, I think it depends upon how EV you get. There are some areas, and I don't want to spaceship nerd shame, because I'm a gigantic spaceship nerd, and I love to talk about Eve. In fact, I talk about Eve every week for hours and hours and hours. But I think it's easier to integrate people who are not at Vegas that aren't Eve players when there's more of a party crew atmosphere, because when we were running around and going on Fremont Street, we're not like talking about ship fittings or something like that. But Eve Vegas is also fantastic for people who are into that sort of thing.
Oh, I forgot about Fremont Street. That was awesome.
Yeah.
too.
Fremont Street was hilarious. I don't want to be the one to link it because it might get us in trouble.
Yeah, I don't want to link it either.
but
There's a lot of good
We
pictures.
made the
There's a lot of
front.
good
I don't think
pictures.
that we
To
should
give you
post
an
it, but
idea,
good.
because of how awesome our Imperium is recruiting picture was, Friday night, Saturday morning, we made the front page of Imgur, which was an accomplishment.
Are you serious?
Yes, we were on the front page. We were like 15th
That's
from
awesome.
the top. We had like 1,000 upvotes,
Wow.
and it was basically two strippers holding up the Imperium sigil, and the title was
There was
you
a
don't
lot
know
more
the
than two.
strippers.
They were okay.
They were
They were
dancers.
street
Hey,
dancers.
It's just girls
sorry.
that work in street dance.
Whatever you want to call them.
They're working hard. Don't put them in a box.
Look, I was drunk. I don't fucking remember. I don't remember getting home that night. I don't know how Drunk Me did it, but Drunk Me was a champ.
If somebody else happens to find the thing and link it in chat, I think we can show it.
Yeah.
Because it's not our fault.
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
link it. I mean, it's on Imgur. It's sort of safe for work.
I mean, yeah, it was on
There's
Imgur. It didn't get banned on Imgur. I have a screenshot of us being on the front page because I found it the following morning.
There's no porn there, but it's also, I think that Imgur said is on the Imperium All Tomorrow's Parties Facebook private group, so it's good stuff. But yeah, that was interesting, is that we had an Imperium battle standard there. We actually had a banner of the Black Eagle, which one of our guys happened to just make and bring of his own accord. And it turned out that actually having a battle standard was really handy when you're dealing with more than 70, I think we had more than 100 people from our crew total once the few days had gone by. And actually having a standard that was a lot easier to find people at parties, go from point A to point B on during the Fremont Street crawl. It was just nuts.
It was also a fantastic conversation starter, and I think it was Anna that brought that out. So big shout out to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Anna
was.
made
It
it.
was
Yeah,
Anna.
I think he works for a sign company, and he was able to make one pretty large one too.
Don't ask him to fly confessors, but carry a sign. That man.
That's one of the things that I think that was really great
Wow.
for me. Like, my favorite thing about Vegas is whenever we get a big group of our guys together, is, you know, seeing people from our crew that have never met anybody before in the real world. You know, the Imperium are constantly doing goon meets and parties and bullshit like that in the real world. So when you find somebody who has finally said, you know what, I'm going to actually get out of my house and go hang out with some of these crazy spaceship nerds, and it's probably going to be really awkward and boring, but I'm going to go do it anyway. And they come out, and some of these dudes, you know, they are good-looking guys. They are, you know, maybe they haven't gotten out
Why,
much or
thank
whatever.
you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
maybe.
here's what the
But, you know,
sorry,
well,
interrupt,
let me finish
sorry.
this. But so one of the things that's really nice to see that we do in the Imperium is, you know, like with Anominate or one of my friends, Brendan, from this weekend, they come out, so their first time out and about, and they, you know, at first they might be nervous about meeting people, but you get to introduce them to the crew, and over the course of just a few days, you watch somebody who is like, I wasn't really sure about this, I don't really know anybody, to just being instantly one of the boys, part of the crowd, totally chill, get to be themselves, get to meet a shitload of new people, and have a really fulfilling time. And you do that year over year, and you see people really being able to, you know, just find their interests. At the Madison meets, sometimes people will be in a basement playing board games one year, and then the next year they're out at the Inferno watching people like body painting competitions and all the other crazy shit that we get up to. It's sort of fitting that we ended up with most of our people going off to the Hard Rocks Fetish Ball after the Chateau party. But anyway, that was my Vegas. There you
I
go.
would just like to throw a challenge down. I think Vegas now is starting to get almost as big as FanFest. I think there were a couple hundred short to FanFest. I think in 2017 we need to make Vegas bigger than FanFest. That is my challenge, not only to us in the Imperium, but I think us as an EVE community in general should make an effort to try to all get out there and make it more awesome.
Vegas is so
I
much
agree.
more fun than FanFest because it's Vegas, right? And I suspect, and this is sort of one of the weird paradoxes about Vegas and why we need to promote it better next year, is the crew that are really looking to party at Vegas, and I'm guilty of this myself, so I'll own up to this. We had tons of people who turned up that did not actually buy Vegas tickets. So from what I could see with the population density and just the way that everything was, there's a lot more people at this EVE Vegas, but a lot of those people did not actually buy tickets to the event because they didn't want to go to panels or do any of the spaceship stuff. So we need to make a point. If we want this event to grow next year, even if you don't want to see the panels, it's going to be important for us to actually shell out for the tickets just so CCP knows that the event is worth doing, that it is growing.
One thing they've
And
done.
there's also like interesting panels too. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, like get on panels, like apply, send a mail to Falcon or Ned, CCP Manifest, and try to get on panels. The Scooters panel is amazing. I loved that thing.
I heard that there was supposed to be an Inside the EVE media panel, but something happened to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that was the other thing about like meeting Grath and Elise and like all of our, you know, the enemies and things. When you're and you know, like, when we sit there and we're like, we all congregate together. It was just like, that's the cool part about it. That's like, I think that was a Grath video. Like this is really Eve or whatever. From the
Yeah, that was a
2016.
video that Porkbutt made, actually.
Yeah.
I think my biggest disappointment of all of Vegas was the inability for myself to learn how to forge a space empire.
I
was
really wanted
unable
to do
to attend that, and I was really sad that I was
Yeah,
unable to.
so one thing that's really interesting too, we'll move on from that, is that one thing they do for FanFest that they don't do for EVE Vegas, and I really wish they did, you get a lot more people going, is that you're able to buy the FanFest ticket with in-game money. So you could buy a whole bunch of Plex and then turn that into a FanFest ticket for like say 20 Plex or whatever. If they could do that for Vegas, you damn well know there will be a lot more people going, because the ticket for Vegas gets up to like $225 at the last minute, and so it can get mad expensive. People just say screw it, I'll just hang out with nerds downstairs all week, you know. So I think that happened quite a bit with some people.
DJ did not turn up, and he did not give his panel.
Okay.
He apparently canceled it a week ahead
So,
of time. There is a link
There it is.
in
That's not
chat
the picture that made the front page.
that is one of them.
But that's the two girls, and that's the banner.
Apparently, the banner of the Black Eagle has a special side effect of being able to attract a lot of attention from attractive
I really
people.
like that one.
And I don't just mean Rocket X. So, there you go. that was actually one of the things. Is I love always getting a chance to hang out with Rocket X. I got to see him and Chocolate Rain, which was cool.
I would have loved to throw money at Rocket X spinning around the Imperium pole.
That's true. I mean, next year we need to have actually a banner, the banner of the Black Eagle, on an actual like stripper pole, and like make sure that we can get some.
It could be like a
projects.
miniature stage and pole that we just drag around with us.
There's
I think
dancers,
What happened
lots
is
of
on
people.
Halloween too was also just a great time, right?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
so much to do.
I really hope that they do Vegas again on Halloween. I mean, one of the things that's weird about Vegas is that it's, you know, sort of the old Ministry song, every day is Halloween. But in Vegas, it's kind of, Halloween was interesting. Like, there was more events and things like that. And I think that everybody got extra crazy knowing that it was Halloween. And hopefully next year they'll do it that same weekend, because that was just fantastic.
Vegas and Halloween is where all of the girls who do their Pilates all year, work out all year, that's their excuse to take it public, and God bless them for it.
Yeah, somebody is saying in chat that Halloween is the Tuesday after Vegas next year. So essentially, as long as it is on the Halloween weekend
they'll
in Vegas,
party it.
we're good.
Yep.
So
That's perfect then. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to move on here. We've talked for 30 minutes about Vegas. There's a lot of stuff in Vegas that we can't talk about, obviously, because it happened in Vegas, and you'll have to come there to find out about it. I had quite a few people that I wanted to bring on today. They're like, no, I can't talk about Vegas. There's no way I can talk about it publicly. I don't want it recorded. So, so yeah, we're gonna move on to the Nullsec Power Hour, and as always, we have a fancy
let's give
picture.
some shout-outs before we do that.
right.
Let's, we have shout-outs for Harry Selden, or H. Selden.
Yeah, H. Sheldon,
I
Twitch
believe.
Prime subscribe.
That is fantastic. And let's see what
I
else
think that
we
was
have. We
it.
got a lot of subscribers at the first section of things. Guys, also feel free to donate. Anything that you donate today is just going to be dumped into the GoFundMe for Big Country. You can also, if you donate to the channel first, you'll get to hear some sort of a funky sound, I believe, from what Boat has set up.
Yeah, Skeptic
but
set it up for
beyond
me.
that,
It's hilarious.
yeah, just give money to the GoFundMe. That's really where. So you can either donate to us and we'll put it in there and you can hear a funny sound, or you can donate directly to the GoFundMe. That is where we want to go. So excellent. We got the shout outs at the end of the segment. We're going to move along. And what is up next, Boat?
Next is Nullsec Power Hour, and I even have a fancy GIF. An image.
A fancy gift.
Yeah, I haven't made it into like a moving image yet. I'm still working on it. I'm trying. I'm bad, but that's that right there. We have an image. So as we move forward into the Nullsec Power Hour, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff.
Can we
that's
demand
so
a
nice.
song? Can we demand a song like the Boat Show song for this?
Oh,
for next time?
I got to work on that.
Like the Nullsec Power Hour. We're basically, guys, we're working on like segments and making things a little bit more predictable and professional when it comes to as we go through the bits
Make
of the show,
them
so you know
jiggle.
what to expect. Exactly, make the hearts jiggle.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of like the PhDs on those fine ladies at Fremont Street.
Yeah, so the very first thing
Got
up here is NCPL. I like to call them NCPL. They won their first. They won the Armor Timer, which is the second timer, on the Fortizar in 15W, which is the staging system for CO2 currently.
and
Yes.
test.
This final timer comes out Tuesday. I'll be live streaming that when it comes out. Also, some updates about this war so far. Tri has joined the PL side. They have been to every fight in the last week on PL side with Tingus. And Snuff and Project Mayhem have been in 0-0 for every fight this last week on the CO2 side. And they've been bringing nightmares.
That is really interesting. Can we get actually, Sadus,
The
I
battle
know that
report
you
right there
and
shows it.
Porkbutt. So we actually have both Sadus and Porkbutt happen to be directors of the Black Hand, which is the Imperium's intelligence agency, which is completely incompetent and never actually accomplishes anything. The Black Hand is a joke. Please do not pay attention to it at all. So which of you would like to discuss? Sadus, I know that you happen to know a thing or two about what's going on in the Tribute War. Do you want to disclose something?
That's kind of putting me on the spot.
That's what I do, baby.
It's really interesting to see how people are lining up. You can see the coalition fighting against the betrayers. Being most of the people you'd expect, I'm enjoying the thrust of Pandemic Horde, joining up with them. Mercenary Coalition is doing some really nice work alongside their buddies as well. But one of the things that I've been surprised about is the level of Well, I've been surprised that CO2's been able to keep all of its major members together as much as they have. So, like, I hate to do it, but they're actually doing a relatively decent job there. Test and CO2 they're fighting against a much larger group. They're doing a decent job, and I hope they die in a ball of fire.
Yeah.
Well, we got to wear our biases on the sleeve, right? I mean, one of the things about CO2 is that it's entirely possible the reason why they are sticking together is that they don't have a choice in the matter, right? Like, I don't really know people within CO2 who are still there because
no Pandemic Horde doesn't check APIs.
That's true. They can always flee
What'll
there.
be interesting to see is how the next week or two go, because the North is about to get another surprise. There's a whole bunch of players moving around right now. We have some hostile entities talking about restaging up north. Tries wanting to do permanent staging up there. They haven't decided yet. Everyone's wanting to kill CO2, especially since that Keep Star that's up there could very well be the first Keep Star assaulted in EVE. It hasn't been hit yet, but will be interesting to see how that goes. There's also one of the most powerful groups is going up there to pay them all a visit. Wild might know about this, but I don't know. Is that happening, Wild? No, don't look around.
Yes. I just heard something drop. I thought something fell down.
I just dropped the mic.
Could have been a mic.
Yeah, I dropped the mic.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I posted a thing on Reddit, but no one seems to have noticed. They just kind of ignored it, so I hope they're ready for Tuesday.
No, I got outvoted. I got outvoted.
I hope they're ready for
I don't know
Tuesday.
about you.
But yeah, so
That's the first time I've ever been outvoted on Reddit. It's awesome. I feel good. I feel really good about it.
North's in for a big surprise soon. That's going to be hilarious. But we're not going to get into that too much. Also, another...
Actually, I want to...
sorry.
I want to, before we move on, I want to touch on the NCPL thing. This is sort of back to Vegas, actually, but one of the things that's fascinating about Vegas is you get a chance to meet people from the other side of the aisle who are your enemies in space, and in a sort of historic thing. Goonstorm and MC have always had sort of an unusual special relationship. Mercenary Coalition, the first iteration, was on the wrong side of the Great War for a while, until they decided to become independent and left Band of Brothers in the early phase of the Great War. And we always got along quite well with Celine and his crew. And it was fascinating to see the reboot of Mercenary Coalition. I got a chance to meet Saber A person, and he and I hit it off, and it was just kind of funny to see how the Imperium people and the MC guys really spent a lot of time together at parties. The MC guys were really cool. They invited us back to their suite party on Sunday night. And another group that's involved in this war that is sort of paradoxically, again, these guys are our enemies, Destructive Influence, who was one of the core Band of Brothers corps during the Great War, had their 10-year anniversary, and I got a chance to meet Lady Scarlet, who and her husband, who are both really cool.
She is great, isn't she? I
She's
really
just
enjoy
awesome.
talking to her.
I never want to piss that woman off because she looks like she could basically ride a Harley and hit me with a chain.
I would pay to see that.
I think a lot of people would pay to see it.
I would. Yeah.
I think we could sell tickets to that. And but no, it was really kind of an interesting thing because here are these guys who are involved in this war, and from an Imperium perspective, MC guys, they tried to come after us. They helped mastermind the whole Casino War thing, and the Dice guys are in NCDOT and some of our ancient enemies, and we spent most of our time in Vegas rolling around with them and having sort of the most cultural commonality with those groups. So, shout out there. And
I think
there you go.
I think that the best people to hang out with Vegas are, of course, I enjoy hanging out with all my goon friends, but the people who are able to say, "Hey, yeah, we fight you all the time, but we have this thing in common. We enjoy doing it, but now let's sit down and have a beer." I think that's one of the best things about Vegas, and if you haven't really experienced that, highly recommend it. And if you go there and you don't experience that, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
So did we get the link for the battle report in the chat?
Yeah, I'm linking it right now. Hold on.
Okay. So that's been heating up, and I think all eyes are essentially on Tribute right now in terms of block level engagements. Test and CO2 don't have the guns to be able to handle NCPL and MC, but CO2 has sort of created the situation in the first place by beginning to attack MC's SOV before all this kicked off.
Yes.
So they are politically isolated, and I don't really think many people are going to be sharing it.
Yeah,
that's just a bad idea. They're sandwiched between a lot of people. It's there's this gangbang that's just encircling them.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, too, is I streamed it Wednesday, is that at the very end there, PL was in a really bad situation. So PL didn't think that Fortizar was very dangerous, so they parked their Supers and Titans right on the motherfucker at 0. And at the end, right before PL warped off, a dread bomb of like 150 dreads undocked. And it would have been glorious to see all those dreads get evaporated in one press of a button, but it could have been a little more than it was. But it's going to be interesting what happens. I think on the Cube Stars where you'll see the big fight. I don't think you'll see it over this Fortizar, because they could just asset safety that shit to safety. But they do have a ton of dreads in there, and I think Gigex is crazy enough just to press the button. But with these new Lance Doomsdays, you saw during the fight that PL dropped 5 of them at once on a Mac fleet. That if those 5 Doomsdays hit a dread fleet, all those dreads die. It only takes 3 to kill them. So
one of the curious things about that is CO2 is growing more aggressive because the Directorate support group, essentially, that was helping manage Gigex's aggression, which is not always a good thing, is no longer there. Like when CO2 turned traitor against the Imperium, and let's make it very clear here, is CO2 are traitors, and it's nice to see the former members of the ex-Money Badger coalition recognizing that, yes, in fact, CO2 are traitors, and they did betray us during the Casino War.
Do you mean that you can't trust someone you bought?
I know. Funny how that works. So what's curious about this is CO2 used to be run primarily by Gigex, supported by Da Vinci, Sebastian St. Fruskin, and their CSM representative, the Judge, was also involved in this. He still has the Judge, but Da Vinci and Sebastian are now gone. Sebastian quit the game after CO2 backstabbed the Imperium, which was a principled stand.
Man, I really love that guy.
So
Sebastian was great.
I found out some things about that at Vegas. So right around the time of the backstabbing, he had some family things come up that caused him a lot of heartache. And it was just like all of the family things that hit him at once caused him to say, you know what, Eve's not that important. See you later. And walked away from the game.
And that's it.
Yep.
I did have lunch with the Judge in Vegas, and it was just kind of interesting. Like, we were both in line for Planet Dailies, and I could tell that there was some Eve nerds behind me and my wife. And I was like, hey, why don't you guys come eat lunch with us? I didn't know it was a Judge until like halfway through lunch. And he was like, who are you? And I was like, no, who are you? And he was like, I'm the Judge. And I was like, oh, I'm Pork Butt. And he was like, oh, I'm the traitor then. I was like,
yes.
Oh. Awesome, but no, actually, he's a really interesting guy to talk to, especially with his CSM stuff.
He's chill. I didn't get a chance to meet him.
He's he's a very smart Eve player, and a lot of the stuff with the backstab was orchestrated by Da Vinci, and we all know he got kicked out of CO2 and kind of burnt all of his bridges there on the way out. So.
Yeah,
I liked Lenny. I liked meeting Lenny. I thought it was a whole different person. And I know that's not the guy, the travel, and the whole story. But meeting Lenny, I was like, wow, you're
Lenny tried way too hard to be the I'm the good guy at Vegas. That irked me a bit.
Well, to be fair, what can he do,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Lenny seemed legit. He was nice. He was personal.
But his
big props to him for showing
job
up.
is to seem legit.
Right.
It's so obviously an act, but he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, so a lot of people were upset, speaking of Lenny, that he was allowed to come there because there's apparently a rule in CCP Zula that if you're banned at Eve, you can't attend an event.
Really?
And
that doesn't make
there
any
was a
sense at
discussion
all.
about
I
that.
mean-
Like, if you're permabanned for a really
is
big
America.
reason, that you can't just come to a fan fest or whatever. So
That doesn't.
yeah, it doesn't make any
that
sense to
too
me either. But there was a lot of complaints on Reddit, like how the hell did he win a 1080 when he shouldn't even be allowed to be there? And there was a lot of outcry for that. But then of course,
If he bought the ticket,
Yeah, I
he
know.
bought the ticket. Most of the people who were there, I know, obviously Bam Stoker was there from EveBet, and EveBet, again, credit to PL on this and their organization. EveBet, there was no bannings or any wrongdoing in there, even though we opposed the existence of these things. But Lenny had probably already bought in his ticket, and he's supporting the event. And besides, you can't keep somebody out of an event at Vegas in the first place. You can keep them out of the halls of the panels themselves if you have door security. But saying, "Oh, you can't come to Vegas" is dumb. I think that if anybody wants to complain about Lenny Kravitz and Dirty Isk and RMT, it's us here on this show. And the guys in the leadership of the Imperium who had the entire galaxy paid by dirty money, infinite dirty money, to come after us. We bore the brunt of it, and I still shook Lenny's hand and was polite to him. In fact, there's a good picture of us, speaking of MC being awesome hosts, there's a great picture of Lenny, me, and my girlfriend at the MC party suite on Sunday night. So chill stuff all the way around.
So we'll move on from the war in the north at the moment. We're going to take a quick detour here to the very far north. Care for Kids surrendered all their solve in the northern Dronelands. From the way it looks, I'll have a link here in a moment. All that solve has now transferred to Shadow of X Death. The only thing that it looks like it's waiting on is the stations. And based on everything you see normally, when solve transfers that quickly to straight to Shadow of X Death, that is failure to pay rent. So, Care for Kids no longer has solve. Whoop. Rip that charity.
So do we have any intel that they failed to pay the rent?
We have some indication that they're just looking to downsize in general. Like they got a little bit. I think their eyes were bigger than their stomach, and maintaining a lot of solve, as we know, is a pain in the ass.
Well, I
And
mean,
so-
especially because you got all these children with cancer who are maintaining
Right.
off. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so for our viewers who are just tuning in and don't know what Care for Kids is, it is a sham charity that is run by a PL guy that was affiliated from Rikoku, that was affiliated with iWantISK, and essentially it was a front for dirty iWantISK money to claim that it was a charitable organization to have children with cancer play Eve. And what they're actually doing is building supercaps as Russian renters in the drone regions, and they have a whole bunch of totally random corporations in there, and they're just crapping out supercaps as fast as they can. So when we're making jokes about care for ticks or care for kids or all that other stuff, that's where we're going.
It's
with
also
that. But that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
it's also possible that their supercat building's done with the changes coming. Like they're gonna have the new thing, so they probably just said, "Fuck it, we're done with building supers here." So yeah, that happened. That was some quick news. Other than that, we haven't heard much. Another one that came up was Lumpy. For either one reason or another, there's no intel on why, but Lumpy decided to attack Saw belonging to FCON and then proceeded to farm FCON for a day.
You throw money at me!
So here's the link to the
Why
fight.
stop there?
Yeah, so
Is that only happening for one day, or is that
that's
something
all
they're
I
gonna
saw
keep
was
going?
1 day worth. I looked for more, there was no more, but it looked like they just hit a bunch of solve to see how FCON would react, and FCON showed up and they farmed FCON all day. So there's the battle report.
I know that Matterall has the photo. Matterall took one of the photos of me and Lenny, and there was a video, a short video that was posted by Ronan on Twitter. If somebody wants to go digging for that as well. That was on Sunday night at Vegas. Good stuff.
Yeah, so the FCON
The
thing
video's
has
a
been
little
hilarious.
funny,
There's no... Usually when FCON gets poked, they like to post long, elaborate essays as to, okay, this isn't the reason or not the reason. So I'm pretty sure...
That's actually
It's
a really
the
good
same.
photo.
It's the same with me. when
Yeah,
I
so
get
I'm pretty sure in a moment here, Tarquinius will email me an essay as to, no, it wasn't an attack on Solve, it was just fun. But we'll see. Usually...
That is a fantastic photo. I just want to give Porkbutt a shout out here. So this was linked by Dirk in chat, the Mittens and Lenny photo, and
God.
there's on my left is dear Lenny Kravitz,
No,
and
the
behind
vest
me
is behind you.
is one Marconius Porkbutt, who is apparently
I
unable
was trying
to
to
restrain
I
himself.
was trying to stick my tongue in your ear. I think. I
Well,
can't
who
remember.
doesn't? I mean, you know.
I was pretty. I don't really remember leaving that party, so
That was a great party. So that once again, we keep giving them shout outs and props for this because this was all, as you can see, that I'm rocking a MC pin on my lapel in addition
Yeah.
to a.
I showed that.
so-
I showed that to the stream.
Yeah, a lot of people are really confused for a second. So that suite wasn't just the thing that MC bought. That was the suite that Celine won as part of the upgrade person to Vegas thing. MC won that from eVegas. So that was like their little
Aw.
thing they won. Let's see, what else? Yeah, that...
Yes, Lenny is a cute girl.
Oh! Hey, you know what? We're almost... we have about 12 minutes left to cover a lot of stuff. But one thing we can smug about here at the moment, we do have a moment for smug. GF's Goonswarm online his first Keepstar this week.
Did
yeah,
we?
apparently we did. While we were in Vegas, actually. I was
I don't. believe
I
this.
was
Can't.
sitting next to a whole lot of directors going, oh, fuck. I'm not going to be home in time for this. What the hell?
If we could just get all of our supers out of 93 PI, we would.
Yeah,
do that like a
I
new-
actually petitioned some people in the directorate to name it the 93 PI station name, like whatever that last station name was before we left, and just call the Keepstar that, since apparently none of our supers exist, but we had almost 100 Titans on it.
Well, we have a Keepstar now, but we can't actually put any of our supers there because
Oh.
they're still.
That's a good point.
Trapped
Yeah,
in
so
93
can you talk about that? Like, what was the...
One
Why
day.
the hell did we drop it in Vegas? That freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, I can't help you!
Well,
was a
that was
brilliant
precisely
idea.
why we did it. We had an interesting situation there. So the strategy behind that was we were making lots of noise in Sturm and Drang in other directions because you never know whether people are going to be going after you or not. And we figured for the first Goonstorm Keepstar, there was a non-zero possibility that the Money Badger Coalition would drop what they're doing and come after us to try to make a statement. As it stood, they didn't notice it until 4 hours.
Yeah,
before it came
21
online. It was
hours.
posted on Reddit.
It took 21 hours
Yeah.
for the notice, and apparently PK, the NC.FC, Poison Kevin,
Poison
didn't
Kevin.
even notice it till he saw the Reddit thread. That's how little they were
Well,
looking
and he could
for
be
it.
lying about that. But that's
Well,
based
as far
on
as
what
the
he posted.
intel I have, they, according to people that were at Vegas that were in PL and NC dot that I talked to after it went online, they didn't find out till the Reddit thread. So
Yeah, it's going to be. So that was basically what we did. We did it in Vegas because I underestimated the number of our line combat pilots that were going to be in Vegas, but I knew that most of the military directorate minus Boat was going to be not going to Vegas. So we had a lot of our military directorate staying home. And we wanted to do some sort of attacky type thing ourselves during eVegas instead of being on the receiving end of normally whenever there's FanFest or Vegas, bad guys come after us. It worked out really well. I'm pleased by it. It is a shame that it's going to be useless because goons are dead and have no soft. That was actually one of the things that was really fucked up about Vegas for me, was looking around, and there were so many people I could see from the reactions on their faces and seeing it posts on Reddit and things later. People, by and large, who play this game that aren't in the Imperium think that we've lost all of our SOV, that our supercaps are still trapped, that we don't have any territory, and there was a lot of surprise from people who are not in the Imperium to see such a huge crew at Vegas and that we still exist, which is of course spin and lies. We don't exist. Yep. Our supercaps do not exist. We certainly didn't beat JITA in terms of concurrent logins.
actually, it was just linked here by Lola Roller. This was our numbers about an hour beforehand. We had 169 fax, which for those that don't know much about fax machines are force multipliers in capital fights, and we had as many fax machines on grid as PL and NC had combined by almost double than they had in SH1, which is a big deal. Fax machines are huge.
Nonsense.
So.
Nonsense.
Well, I'm just saying what I saw. I mean, I don't know if it's it really happened or not, but
I don't know. What do you think about the Keepstar Wild?
I love our Keepstar. I think it's the greatest thing. I'm a little sad that you can't actually spin your Titan.
You can't?
no, they won't let you know.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a hook
no,
at the end.
no super or Titan spinning is supported at this time.
That
No.
is a crying shame.
That should go into CCP, please, because really,
Come on, guys. Yeah,
What a
I've waited
great
this
segue.
long.
That's a good point.
It's racist.
we can't spin. It's true. It is.
Yeah.
If I can't spin, how am I gonna be able to appreciate a ship
So,
that I cannot
the last
spin?
thing-
I have to
Right?
spin everything.
So, real quick, we're going to move on to the last thing, and then Low Sec Power. We're running out of time. We're actually spent so much time on Vegas that we didn't get to our normal stuff.
It's
but
all
that's
good.
fine.
There's not too much on.
But yeah, on whatever you want to call it, last week a streamer named Biddleby, or however you say his name, was roaming in a Moros, and capital points give lots of extra strength when you use a capital scram, and he baited an XIX Titan worth 190 billion S to drop him, and then tackled the thing and tanked the Titan because the Titan didn't doomsday him long enough to call for help, and the help arrived pretty quickly because he was live streaming, and the Titan died, and it was absolutely hilarious. I didn't get to.
That guy was fantastic. I've seen him.
but
I've seen
Stormbeat,
some of
Stormbeat.
his streams. Yeah, and he runs around with a solo Moros and a whole bunch of other things. I think was he still rocking the Interbus like B skin? when he
I
was doing
think it was. Yeah, I don't have the video on me right
That's
now,
awesome.
but
He has some
Yeah.
really hilarious things where he'll stream around in a solo dreadnought and he'll be able to take on entire gangs by himself because they'll just small gang stuff, and he will use heavy webs, the grappling to Bjornby. That's right. I think that guy owns, and I'm a big fan of his. Actually, I rarely watch that many Eve videos, but when he first started rocking that Moros, I saw his YouTube and I was like, wow. that
okay.
was
Apparently, he got killed by the Doomsday.
Yes.
But either way, the fucking Titan died because he Doomsdayed a streamer, and it was hilarious.
Some people say he's a good pilot, but I think he was Bjorn that way.
Oh,
Oh.
God damn it!
We have a little bit. Status there just channeled Casper North.
Fucking
so
him and
a
K
little
Color.
extra
God
guest star.
damn it!
Wow. Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of the Nullsec Power Hour, so let's take a look to see about any donations and subs that we need to give shout-outs for. We ran our mouths for a while. I didn't
Yeah,
see
we have
any
3
sub I saw.
donations. Dwarf to UNK donated $5. Thank you, sir. Ogami Ito donated $10, and Ingress donated $5. Thank you, sirs, for your donations.
Excellent. All those donations are going to go to the GoFundMe for the Big Country fundraiser.
Yep. So now we
And-
move on to CCP Please, and you'll see our wonderful graphic for CCP Please on the screen.
That is classy.
That wizard hat. Oh man, that brings back memories. Yeah, but CCP Please. We don't have a lot of time in the show today. We are doing a giveaway today. I forgot to mention this at the beginning because I got these really awesome Blood Raider skin codes. I have like 50 of them. So I'm going to give away one of these here at the end. This gives you a really fancy Crimson Harvest code. I don't know what it does or how it works, but I'll give that away at the end of the show here. But as we move to CCP Plays, the most important thing to come out of Vegas was
Is
dicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
A lot of dicks. A lot
Yeah.
of dicks in Vegas.
There's
And a lot of dicks coming out of Vegas.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of...
I want to get this out before you start talking about it. The perfect counter to a lot of dicks in the field when we start doing this is going to be a lot of moms. And we're going to need a lot of moms and a lot of mom jokes to take care of all these things. God.
You know, it's funny
I
from
give
a
up.
countering perspective. Is actually true? Is that
We're going to need a mom fleet.
mommies and toonies to deal with all the dickies? I guess I don't know. Like they, CCB named it that intentionally to be referred to as dicks. It's their acronym. So, what can you do?
I'm really afraid once these workload changes happen, though, like we really will just have like a mom fleet. And it's just gonna be like a roaming mom fleet.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many softballs going over that plate there.
I'm
that
just-
afraid
yeah, I'm
to
gonna
take
leave
a
that
swing at
alone.
which I'm just
Yeah,
like,
so back to
ooh.
dicks. About the dicks.
So let's get back to the nice simple topic.
Yeah,
of
So,
today.
so-
yeah, let's get back to dicks. Dicks are important.
thing-
Dicks are actually important, and
This is-
dicks are going to change the meta.
Yeah, this is a game
Yeah, I
changer.
really think these are gonna take us from behind. I don't want to be.
Oh,
I
God.
kid.
All right, so let's be serious for a moment about our dicks here. The thing about these dicks.
I mean, I love bombing, and I like taking bombs pretty deep. But these dicks are just coming at me.
All right,
Nothing I can do.
hold on. Stop. We gotta get back to serious.
More dicks on their.
I gotta face
Come on, y'all are
Feathers on
killing
the
me here. Stop with the dick
peacock.
jokes. All right, we got to get serious. All right, so dicks are the acronym for the new anti-bomb destroyer module. It'll use Defender missiles to kill bombs. It is the first time in CCP's game history where they've actually acknowledged bombers as dangerous, which has been good for me, good for business.
It's
I
also
think-
the first time they've
I
ever
think that's
acknowledged that Defender missiles could be useful.
Yeah.
I can almost see the Mini True song "Dicks Don't Lie" by Shakira coming up.
One
soon.
thing I am looking forward to them trying to do with this, because this is a game changer, is allowing these Defender missiles not only hit bombs, but to hit the bombs that come out of super carrier heavy fighters, the ones that they're designed to kill like caps insanely fast.
That'd be interesting.
They only can fit like 3 of them at a time, and they have a crazy reload time when you bring them back. And so being able to use Defender missiles on a destroyer fleet to screen your capitals from the enemy bombs that are coming at your dicks. That would
So
be
what
amazing.
you're saying is we need something to basically cover the dicks. Though.
Yes, yes. No, our dicks won't cover the
but
fleet.
sensitivity is really important. I mean,
Right.
if
Are you
you're
making- are you making
covering
a
your dicks,
prophylactic
it's a
Now,
sensitive thing.
One thing I was curious about, and I didn't get this answer because I was too drunk at the time, but one thing I did not get answered by CCP was that if you could use these on like Confessors and Sweeples. I know they said you could use them on Cormorants and T1 destroyers and maybe Command
There was going to be a
destroyers.
special ship.
Or maybe there's a special ship. I don't know, but they haven't said if it's going to be like a T3, because you can imagine a really fucking dick hard to kill Confessor or Sweeple.
A hard dick to kill.
Hard dick to kill.
Hard-
On a Confessor or Sweeple, those things barely die as it is, and ramming a bunch of dicks on the side of a Sweeple and trying to throw it down your enemy's throats.
I am winning the Goon Fleet naming convention on this one. I got this. This is Viagra Fleet, Mom Fleet. I'm on it. Finally, this is my time.
Yes, Wild,
Wow.
you're on the dick.
Plus one wild. Plus one wild.
Plus, Wild will be
well
on the
done.
dick. We got that.
I
Okay,
am.
so-
But no, seriously, I could see
Let
CCP.
me actually
Oh, yeah.
let me get into some actual meta stuff here, so people understand how this impacts fleet doctrines. So, one of the challenges that exists currently in Eve is bomber wings can annihilate entire types of doctrines if certain ships are on the field. without these things. So there's nothing that can really stop you from getting bombed if you stay still for too long and you don't have certain counters. So what's going to happen with the introduction of these is that it's going to be much more viable for fleet doctrines that we used to see, battleship fleets that are like shield battleship fleets that aren't rattlesnakes. You're going to see it's a major buff to like Serb doctrine,
Oh, yeah, like
things
the
that
Asher
are weak
Doctrine,
to
yeah.
bombs. Exactly. Any sort of doctrine that was previously weak to bombs, when these things are implemented in the December patch, you're suddenly going to start to see a return. Of
Yeah,
those.
what's going to be even more huge, and a lot of people don't notice this, is that while killing destroyers might be easy if you're like one fleet versus another, it's when you start to gangbang people with your dicks that it really becomes a problem. So
That is going to be huge.
no, because you can imagine like there's been fights where that one big ass fleet, like say CO2, is surrounded by like 4 fleets. Well, 3 of those fleets having dicks in them can really gangbang CO2 without fear of being bombed on the side. Whereas that main fleet that CO2 is fighting might lose all their dicks. Those other side fleets will still be able to participate with their dicks. So, God, I love this
I blame
acronym.
CCP. This is, I mean, they made the acronym. They knew this was going to happen. I guess they said that we like dicks enough, so they put dicks on our dictors.
Are all of our fleets right now dickless, or what's the story?
Yes.
We're working on our
Yes.
dicks. They're not ready to go yet.
Very small now,
They
but
knew
soon.
this would. God, the fleet will grow when there's more enthusiasm behind the doctrine. There'll be.
But
you know,
no, yeah,
growth.
seriously though,
The
for someone who
number
does
dicks.
just bombing, when I first heard this, I went, "Oh, fuck you, CCP." But then I thought about it,
Can-
and there's someone dumb enough. There's someone dumb enough to think, "Oh, I'm just gonna bring 5 dicks, and I'm not gonna bring smart bombs on any of my battleships, and then our fleet's gonna kill the 5 dicks, and there goes their entire fleet to bombs, right? Because they're not gonna."
Can we please find a way to fit our sword fleet with dicks? Because I'd love to see a sword fight.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Folks.
Yeah,
Let's give
that's the end of the
something-
show right there. Let me do this giveaway. If you want to
That's,
win money.
There's just so many dicks on the dance floor.
Yeah,
there
if
that
you
we
want to
gotta-
win a free Blood Raider skin, just spam chat with dicks. Yeah, flood
you need
the
to
chat
pick an
with
actual
dicks.
code word for them. Then.
Yeah, we'll just use dicks.
I-
Yep, just
Is that it? Just dicks?
D-I-C-K-S.
Dicks, all
Just
lowercase.
dicks?
All lowercase.
So you gotta be a follower of the stream. You gotta be a follower if you want to be able to be on the giveaway. You don't have to be a subscriber, but if you're not following, we're not gonna.
Yep, you gotta type the word dicks, and you gotta type it now. So you're allowed to type it a couple times. It has to be spelled very correctly. D-I-C-K-S. All lowercase, no capitals.
All lowercase, please.
I can still win, right? 'Cause I
Yeah,
like
anyone that's on the show can win, yes, including guests. So we'll be giving away one of these now. I have.
As long as you're a follower.
Yep, as long as you're a follower. You don't have to be a subscriber. We don't use RMT on the Meta Show.
I don't have a bunch of dicks. I have just like one. Is that okay?
Ooh, 2 new followers.
You know, that's the thing is that when CCP chose this name, they knew that all the media announcements or everything was going to be just like it's all one big dick joke.
Yeah.
The thing is, I
got nothing.
think we
Hoping this is fun.
took those dick
It
jokes.
prevents your fleets from balling up.
Oh, God.
You know, we can actually blame too many dicks on blue balls.
Okay, let's give something away and then,
You know,
what's
I
coming
just
up next.
the
Actually,
boat
after
show's up
show?
next, but I don't know what I'm playing yet.
The boat show.
But I just realized something.
show.
You
boat
guys
show.
are geniuses.
Keep
When you're
going.
talking about balls. You can actually blame too many dicks for us getting blue balled now.
Sorry, guys, we got a blue ball. There's just too
Yeah,
many.
there's too many dicks on the field. We can't bomb them with our bombs. So you're gonna have to be blue balled. So.
I've never actually taken a defender missile out or auto targeting. I've always
So
it just sucked.
I'll
so bad.
share a little secret. This was hinted at / leaked to somewhere about a year ago, and we were testing defender missiles next to like when they first were talking about like Fortizars and stuff, because I was worried that my bombs wouldn't work anymore because they were like, oh, defender missiles make it so you can't do this. So there, I think it was during the Gorski car leaks. It was mentioned that CCP was working on a ship.
I do actually recall.
They were
something like
working
that,
on
yeah.
a defender missile can kill bombs, and I tested it like crazy, going,
That's
"Oh, it's
true.
not real, it's not real, it's not on Sissy," and it wasn't real at the time. But now that I think Vegas, now I remember why I remember that. So
I played this game like in the very beginning where Caldari was like the best, and I'm not just saying that because it was like the devs thing, right? Like everything was Caldari, missiles were the best, and then something changed, and it's like been anti-Caldari, anti-missile, and just fuck you for like the entire time. And I feel like this is just another oppression by CCP against the Caldari.
Okay, so we're gonna go do our giveaway, and then we gotta get going. So we're gonna roll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and rolling. And the winner and follower is Konshiri. Konshiri, all you gotta do is whisper the channel, and
Rigged.
yeah, we'll get you your money. Yes. So all you gotta do is
Whisper
Rigged.
channel
It's
and-
rigged.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
rigged like the U.S. elections, man.
I don't want
That
to go
is
into
so
elections. Let's
true.
not talk politics. So this person.
We got one last thing.
Well, this
Oh,
person has
sorry.
30
Give it
seconds
away.
to reply. If they don't reply in 30 seconds, it goes to someone else, and I don't mind pressing the button again.
All right, so while we're waiting to see whether they're going to reply, there is one other thing I should point out. I sort of forgot to even promote our multi-dollar media empire, which is kind of silly. So Imperium News is recruiting. We are phasing out the Matania.com. The dev team has been doing a great deal of work, and I am eagerly awaiting, as well as the entirety of the editorial and staff team, to see Drupal go away and be set on fire and never deal with Drupal again.
Yep.
So we are also, since we were not depending upon casino money anyway, the Imperium News Organization is the propaganda wing, the voice of the Imperium. So that means that we actually have ISK to give people who write or stream for us when it's EVE related. So go ahead and check out the recruitment thread that I just linked there in chat. And we had earlier today, Aerith, the finance director, one of them for Goonswarm Federation, was on Matterall's fantastic Talking in Station show. This is early this morning. Check out the recording if you haven't yet. He answered a lot of questions about how high finance and EVE works at an alliance level, and he also announced that because EVE News 24 and Crossing Zebras appear to be broke, that Goonswarm is going to be massively overfunding Imperium News. Aerith was suggesting that for extremely lengthy pieces, that like the long features like the I Am Not Olivia, the scam article on that, and long form features, we pay out as much as 1 billion ISK per qualifying article. That won't be the same for a regular news hit. The current rate is 300 million ISK per, but that's going to be going up because, hey, we've got it and we're going to make it rain. So check it out, read that article, see whether you've got what it takes, and thank you very much. So, Boat, did our guy contact us
Yes.
to get the skin?
Yeah, he did, and I've already taken care of it. All done. He's already got it.
Awesome. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, awesome, man. Congrats. It says the first time he's ever won anything on any stream, so that's really cool. Congrats, dude. And yeah, that's it for the Meta Show. It's been a blast. Thank you, my eVegas friends here, for stopping by.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I hope you guys had fun.
Yes, thanks for having us.
We blew by this show. Up next, the Boat Show. I don't know what we're going to do, but we are continuing the marathon. I will be streaming for an hour instead of 2 hours today because I have to go. So I'm be hanging out with my nephew and doing some other stuff, and I got to go. So yeah, thanks for tuning into the Meta Show, guys.
He's lying.
I got stuff.
Thank you so much, guys, and we will
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you next
bye-bye.
week.
Bye.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.